It was a great, beautiful day today. Like very warm, very hot. Sweated a lot. Definitely made fasting a lot harder. So starting off the video, this is the third round of my dad and I wrestling. So with the way you kind of see us like moving our arms and stuff like that. So the way we're wrestling, it's more specific towards or lamb, which is basically a form of wrestling that derives from West Africa. So you can kind of just call it Senegalese wrestling, because that's where it's mostly like practiced and performed and whatnot. So this whole like reaching out our arms and stuff like that is basically a way for us to kind of make an opening for ourselves. Um, and then like one thing different about traditional like Western wrestling compared to like Senegalese wrestling is that you can also strike each other. You can punch your opponent. Of course, my dad and I did not punch each other. But yeah, so we did 3 rounds. This is the final round. I lost all 3 rounds because I don't know a lick of wrestling. And my father, when he was younger, he did just like a lot of like wrestling with friends and like just people in school. You can see me about to get dropped here. So it's like it's just funny because right after this, I had like looked up like wrestling techniques and like exercises to make me better at wrestling and stuff like that. So it's just like I don't know, it was just so funny. But it was very interesting. My dad was like, "I still got it. I still got it." So yeah, it was fun. It was definitely fun. But be careful. You don't want to hit yourself or cause any pain or whatever the case may be. So the rest of the workout, I did some like just core work. So technically anything where I brought my knees up to my torso, and then I did 100 squats. Now you might think like, is that it? That's all. Beforehand, I had did some other stuff. At around 1 p.m., I came outside, um, because I looked at the temperature and I was like, wow, it's that warm outside. I'm just gonna go and sit outside. So I was outside. I had a book. I had my phone out, and it overheated. When I looked at it, it overheated, and I'm just like, okay, I'm just gonna sit inside. And my dad came out to start working out, and that little sandbag that you can kind of see in the background right here on the screen, we were just like throwing that around, like throwing it over our shoulders, stuff like that, hitting the heavy bag. I didn't record any of this because it's like, I don't know. I don't have to record everything. I know what I did. I know how I worked out. I know the effort that I put in. But I guess in terms of documentation, it's like not the best. But then again, like my phone overheated. I forgot like, oh yeah, it gets hot, right? Stuff like that. Apparently, I forgot that. But yeah, so one thing is that the core work, doing the core exercises, it wasn't that difficult for me to do. It was I guess fairly easy out of everything else because like way before I even turned on the camera, yeah, we were doing some like sandbag throws, over the shoulder throws. We were hitting the heavy bag, stuff like that, and then of course, my dad and I did like 3 rounds of like wrestling. Um, so obviously, it's like I'm already pretty fatigued, and then I'm doing some more work. But the core work, it didn't feel that bad. One thing too is that like my stamina, like my breath, wasn't that bad as well. I noticed that my father, he tend to start to breathe more heavily as we were continuing our rounds. Me, I had pretty good endurance. I just like, obviously I don't have like the same amount of strength as my dad, or just this in terms of skill when it comes to wrestling. I don't have that skill, or any skill at all, because again I don't know jack dilly squat about wrestling. But again, it's like, why not try it out? I asked him like, hey dad, do you want to wrestle? And he was like, with you? Sure, okay. So, and then he bodied me 3 rounds. So, so yeah, I'm also kind of surprised that I would still continue even though I lost, like, even 2 times before. So yeah, so that means like, I was interested in doing this, and that I didn't want to just give up on it. So the squats here, only did 100. I anticipated that maybe I was gonna do 200, but I was not anticipating all the other stuff my dad and I were gonna do before the cameras got turned on. So I just did 100 squats. I could barely do 100 because Again, I was just so fatigued earlier, and of course I'm fasting, so no water, no food. Water, man, water was like the only thing on my mind. It was like anytime I saw any image of water, it was just like the most like beautiful thirst quenching image I've ever seen. So it was definitely hard today with all the sweating that I was doing and all the movement that I was doing today, and just doing 100 squats was like, this was probably like the, it felt, I'm gonna say this, it felt like it was the hardest set of 100 squats I ever did, but I'm pretty sure the hardest set of 100 squats I ever did was like when I first did them. But again, it's like this was more of like a mental challenge than it was anything physical. Like sure, I might have been kind of a bit more fatigued and everything beforehand, but this required a lot more mental strength and a lot more mental capability to order to just keep going, to keep persevering through these 100 reps here, because it's like, again, like I had already done so much, and I'm just like, I'm gonna do 100 squats. So, but I was fine. I was fine. Um, you know, I'm here today. We already ate. It's like 10:30 p.m. I ate. I enjoyed my food. The food tasted extra good. It tasted extra amazing because of all the work that I had put in. When it was sun out. So it's kind of like an award. It's more, food is more rewarded when you've gone through a lot more physically tasking actions, rather than if you were to like sit on your butt all day. Now I'm not like, if you do have to sit on your butt all day, depending on the nature of your job or your hobbies or whatever, then that's fine. Like even if you still participate in Ramadan, you're still going without food in general. But again, it's like do something physical just to kind of help your appetite, just further increase your appetite a bit more, because it's just gonna allow you to just enjoy the food that you have, and to be able to not take things for granted in a way. And honestly, that's about all I really gotta say. I enjoyed the session today, even if I didn't record like that first part of it or the first half of it. One thing to mention is like you can see me trying to talk to myself here, because I really wanted to give up on doing these 100. I was like, I'll just do 50 or something like that. But it's like, nah, man, I gotta put in the work. I gotta put in the effort, no matter what. And again, it paid off because again, I still ate. I still ate at the end of the day. So just keep going, persevere. Stuff I've been saying before. And that's about all I'm gonna say. Enjoy the rest of this video, just me squatting. If you want to click off, hey man, do what you want. That's you. You have your own free will. But see you guys in the next video.